This is just gonna take 30 seconds. All I want to tell you is that if you follow me on Instagram, you may know that I have been creating this journal, this Pokemon journal, which I'm now selling on my Etsy store. I've sold about 10 or 11 of them so far, which has been so cool. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the description if you're interested. It's like a day journal. It's like a weekly journal that kind of helps you get on top of your spending, your monthly tasks, your weekly tasks, even like your mental health as well. It's really pretty. There's like notebooks and all these kind of stuff in here. Anyway, I can just hear Willem saying, "It's 30 seconds into the video and you haven't even started the title." Ooh, that Willem is always in my head, majority of the time. Anyway, if you like Pokemon and you like journals and you'd like something with my art on it and whatnot, there is an Etsy store down below. And you can pick one up if you want to. I ship worldwide. Anyway, what we are here to talk about, though, is RuPaul's Drag Race. So if you are new here, my name is Liam, and here on this channel, we talk about RuPaul's Drag Race. You watch it, you come back here, we talk about it. And if that's something you're interested in doing, then maybe you'd think about, subscribing, yesies? Maybe. First of all, this is a weird episode. Did anyone else feel that? It was just like, it was just like a weird topic. It was a weird, it had a vibe that was kind of like early Drag Race kind of thing where it's more crafty. Like it wasn't, it was just really different to me. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna make some pour over coffee. But in a good way. I don't think it came off, I don't think it exactly, God, how bougie is this? I don't think it exactly, it didn't, come off poorly or anything like that. It was just a weird episode. And I didn't really know if something was good or if something was bad. The way Monét and Latrice walked back into that room was like they were best friends again after Latrice was ready to destroy her. I just got the feeling like, oh, now y'all are best friends? And then the confessionals, Latrice is like, well, now we all know who the winner is. You know, weird. This was an interesting episode for Valentina. It was all about her still being in her own fantasy world, and then the walls slowly crumbling down. It was actually very emotionally hard to see. And I'll get into this more at the end, but it was just, as someone who, as you know, if you've been watching these videos a while, I am quite a Valentina fan. This episode was good and bad for Valentina. There was parts in this episode where she was kind of becoming annoying, and then there were other parts of the video where you could really see more of an emotional state of Valentina. So it was a conflicting time for us Valentina stans, or as people like to call us, the Valentina twinks. So Latrice got to pick these teams that were going on, which was, first of all, great for Latrice because she could pick people who she knew weren't going to walk all over her. But having Valentina and Naomi working in a team together is just such a weird combination. They just don't seem like I mean, I know that Naomi had also said this, but the two of them hadn't really seemed to mix in any way, and I was kind of hoping that it would be this beautiful like blooming of a friendship where they would discover that they worked really well with each other and they made this thing, but Valentina just didn't pull her weight at all. How annoying was that? Naomi's over here lifting everything, painting everything, literally had Valentina on his shoulders. Valentina's not really, I felt so sorry for Naomi. Because I know what it's like. You know those group projects in school? And you just end up doing everything and everyone gets a good mark. And it was just, except in this case, no one got a good mark. But you know what? Naomi was the kid who gets put in the shitty class project group. That was Naomi. Their idea for Club 96 was a bit lost on me, to be honest. I mean, there was something, the whole thing about how everyone's got their backs to each other, it just didn't sound like it was a very well realized club at all. The VIB club was such a strong concept. There's so much you can do with that. The puns that they were throwing out. I'm all over the place with this review. Let me just talk about the B. The VIB one. The VIB one looked like it was so much fun. I was so into that. It was funny. It was really well executed. I mean, Manila, you know, being the graphics designer that she is, that was kind of what was going to be happening here. But it was more, there was a bit at the beginning there where Trinity wasn't really saying anything, and I was thinking, oh no, girl, you're not really bringing much to this. It's all Manila and it's all Latrice, and Trinity's kind of seeming to being pushed to the back, which is weird for Trinity. When it got into it, and Trinity was a really good host, and it was so funny, and that spelling bee thing was so good. I love this. They rightfully won that. The Black Hole Club was really funny as well. It was the thing, like when we were going through all of the clubs, and we started with Monét and Monique. They already have a really good rapport and they work really well with each other. No one was stepping over each other. They weren't fighting against each other. It just kind of looked like they were in a club. So as that was the first thing we were seeing, I was just like, yeah, this is good, I guess. This is just them being them, but that's always good. Is this like, how are we judging this? Or how do I know what's good here? All three of the clubs looked like they were made in a studio, which they were. So it's like, oh, honey, you need some earrings. Which they were. I'm just gonna bring you over here. Which they were in a studio, I guess. So it's kind of like, well, that's exactly what was going on. And all three of them looked tacky, but that wasn't their fault. It was studio props. You know what I mean? But I've got to say, Valentina's and Naomi's looked particularly tacky. That whispering Studio 96 thing, I get that it was a nod to like an MTV kind of thing. I get that, but it wasn't, I don't know, while they were doing their show through of their clubs, I kind of felt like maybe it was going in a really good direction, because Valentina has this thing where before the actual competition happens, she looks like she's a lost cause. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing. But then when she gets into doing the actual acting, or she gets into yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. But when she actually gets into doing the acting, she usually does a really good job. And I thought that might have been what was happening, and it kind of was, but at the same time, it kind of wasn't. Those glasses were so awkward and tall, and no one seemed to be really knowing what was going on. The fashion show thing was kind of a mess. Like, the black hole, I'm all over the place today, but the black hole one with the dance party and thing I also didn't really get, but everyone was having fun anyway, because Monet's over there with her signature laugh, just making everyone happy. And the spelling bee one was so funny, but the spelling bee one with the poor cute guy at the beginning who got to spell world or something, or some easy word. It was just like, oh, so you don't want to see him undressed. That's mean. I would have liked to see him undressed. Send him over to me. Thank you. But then when the really hot guy came up and it was a really hard word, that was really funny. Oh, but the end, release the bees. It was just really comical and really... I think they did such a wonderful job. So with the runways, with Latrice's outfit, that was a really cool outfit that Latrice pulled out. But I mean, that gave me so much anxiety thinking about taking that off. Or then I was thinking about, what if you were wearing that in a club? And then what if you needed to pee? What if you needed to pee? Jesus, that would be annoying. And it just, like, getting that off. Have you ever had a shirt that was too tight, or you've just been exercising and then you're all sweaty and it's clinging to you like there's no tomorrow, and then you can't get it off and you think, oh my gosh, I'm stuck in this shirt for the rest of my life. And then it's over your head and you're in the darkness and it's like claustrophobia. But, you know, that's what that would be like. Anyway, that's all I was thinking during I was looking at that dress, but it was a cool dress. Valentina, this was not Valentina's day, night, week, whatever. It was not Valentina's thing. That tuck was, whoa. Wow. Wow. No. With the critiques of the runway, I mean, everyone looked kind of cool. I don't want to go through every individual person. I don't generally do that. They went in hard on Monét. I didn't think she looked that bad at all. I thought the bananas were fun. I didn't think it was, in comparison to the rest of the people on the stage, it was probably the most basic one, I guess. I don't know, but it wasn't bad. See, the thing is I don't think I think they were too harsh, I don't think it was that bad at all. I think it was pretty cool. But with the top two being Latrice and Trinity, great. Totally agree that they won that. Manila not also being recognized by, like, it should have been top 3. That was a real group effort there. All 3 of them played a role to make that a winning combo. I don't really believe also that Manila was bulldozing over anyone. If anyone, she was making sure that Latrice was included in that. Trinity didn't really need any help getting in there because she already was gonna kill it with that. Like, Manila is nothing. I don't see that. I don't see Manila talking over people or being unsportsmanlike. I don't see that at all. I was really kind of confused by that. Am I the only one who thought that was a weird critique? The thing how Trinity had given half of her prize to Manila as well, that was beautiful. I love that. And also to see that Trinity, that shows a lot about Trinity, because throughout this season, she's like, I don't know if I can trust this bitch. She's gonna send me home because I'm like in the bottom and I'm a threat or whatever. But she's acknowledging when it's, you know what I mean? Like, she's giving credit where credit's due, and that's great. And then Latrice is sitting there like, I ain't giving none of my money. I think it would have been beautiful if both Trinity and Latrice had a chat and were like, let's split this into 3s. That would have been beautiful. And whatever. I think it's nice that Manila was just basically acknowledged. You know, that's beautiful. But when we're getting into the bottom two with Valentina and the chat and all that stuff, I thought straight away, I was like, well, Valentina's going home. She's obviously doing the weakest. This is an easy decision. Naomi will stay. Yes, she's safe all the time, but she's not. In this competition, in this particular challenge, Valentina has done the worst. And also, she's kind of consecutively doing the worst at this point. Yes, she won, but that was a lot longer ago. And Naomi's just kind of like building momentum. I thought it was quite an easy choice that Valentina would go. But when we get into them actually talking to each other, not at all. Like at all. Like at all. It's just, that seemed like such a hard choice at that time. And then when they're actually pulling the lipsticks, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought maybe Naomi would go home. But this whole thing Valentina keeps pulling with people who are about to vote her off. I see myself with you at the end of this. Get a bit sick of that. Kind of glad she's gone. It's really stressful at this point. I'm not glad she's gone. When I was looking at the next week shot and Valentina wasn't there, I was like, this is weird. Where's Valentina? Hello. When Valentina's name was actually pulled, Ru was scooped. Like, he was shocked that Valentina was chosen. Or I think at that point, if Naomi gets chosen or Valentina gets chosen, it's kind of like, ugh. But also, well, Ru might have been coming from a producing television standpoint. Do you know what I mean? Because Valentina's got some great looks. Valentina's got great one-lines. And by looks, I mean not only runway looks, I mean looks as in like, you know those ones. What was that? It was interesting to see Valentina, like she was just keeping it together this episode. Because like she said, the fantasy of all this was falling apart, which was really sad to watch. But I mean, they're not dead. I don't know why. I don't know why we always get so like sad when people leave. People have to leave. I'm talking to myself right now because I get really sad when people have to leave, especially Valentine. And because there's so many queens back, I don't understand how this works. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's only supposed to be like 8 episodes or 10 episodes, whatever. People have got to go, but it's just, there's still so many queens there. Like, there's so many. So it's just like, I don't know. It feels weird to have Valentina go this soon, but it's not that soon. We're up to what? Episode 7 next week? Is this 7? Where am I? Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button or the like button or whatever buttons are down there these days. Who can never be sure. If you were interested, Pokemon Journal, you can totally pick that up. The link will be in the description. Ship worldwide. They're really lovely. They're really good quality. I went through this really wonderful printer. Did this all myself. It's like a lot of work. Anyway, it was great. I did this because I've bought this Supernova stall, and if you know what Supernova is, like this pop culture convention-y thing, and I'm going to be selling art prints. Some of them are the art prints are going to be RuPaul's Drag Race inspired, so I've got some queens that are with Pokemon. I'm going to be selling those prints. Anyway, got a couple months to do it. I'll be at a store for 3 days, standing there. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next week.